So, dear students, today we will start the new chapter, namely electrochemistry. First, we will know what is electrochemistry. So, you might have heard that in a torch there is a cell. That cell is called dry cell or Leclanche cell. Here, chemical reactions, the energy produced in the chemical reactions are converted into electrical energy. Similarly, when electricity is passed into a solution of electrolyte, what happens? Chemical reactions takes place. That means chemical energy can be converted into electrical energy and electrical energy into chemical energy. This study, that means the study of interconversion of chemical energy into electrical energy and electrical energy into chemical energy is known as electrochemistry. So, this is the definition. So, the chapter electrochemistry. What is the definition? Interconversion of chemical energy into electrical energy and electrical energy into chemical energy is called electrochemistry. And then we will know what is oxidation and reduction. Oxidation and reduction. What is oxidation? The loss of electrons. The loss of electrons is called oxidation. The loss of electrons is called oxidation. Example, zinc atom loses electron and converted into zinc ions plus 2 electrons. So, this process is known as oxidation. That means zinc atom after losing electron converted into zinc ions, the process of losing of electron is known as oxidation. Then what is reduction? The gain of electrons. The gain of electrons is called reduction. For example, copper ions accepts or gains electrons and converted into copper atoms. So, the process is known as reduction. So, the loss of electrons is called oxidation. The gain of electron is called reduction. Then what are redox reactions? What are redox reactions? Chemical reactions in which there is simultaneous oxidation and reduction. Chemical reactions in which there is simultaneous oxidation and reduction are called redox reactions. For example, when zinc granules are added into copper sulfate solution. What is the color of copper sulfate solution? The color of copper sulfate solution is blue. When zinc pieces are added into copper sulfate solution, what happens? Zinc is converted into zinc sulfate plus copper is converted into copper ions are converted into copper atoms. So, here The actual reaction is Zn plus Cu2 plus gives Zn2 plus Cu. So what happens? Zinc loses electrons and copper ions gains electrons. Zinc, after losing electrons, are converted into zinc ions. The process is known as oxidation. Copper ions accepts electrons and converted into copper atoms. This is known as reduction. So, in this reaction, both oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously, hence it is called a redox reaction. Now let us study what are conductors and insulators. Conductors and insulators. What are conductors? Substance which allow electricity to pass through them. Are called conductors. Example: all metals, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, etc. are conductors. Then what are insulators? Substance which do not allow electricity to pass through them. Substance which do not allow electricity to pass through them are called insulators. So example for insulators: example, wood, rubber, glass, some plastics, etc. are insulators. So coming to the types of conductors. In conductors, there are two types. Number one, metallic or electronic conductors. Number two, ionic or electrolytic conductors. So substances which allow electricity to pass through them are called conductors. In conductors there are two types: metallic conductors and ionic conductors. Metallic conductors are also called as electronic conductors. Ionic conductors are also called as electrolytic conductors. What are metallic conductors? So metallic conductors conduct electricity by the passage of electrons. They conduct electricity by the passage of electrons. Those substances are called metallic or electronic conductors. Example, metals and non-metals like graphite, some alloys, etc. are electronic conductors. So here they contain mobile electrons. Mobile electrons. So metallic conductors or electronic conductors are the conductors which conduct electricity by the migration or by the passage of electrons. So they contain mobile electrons. Due to the passage or migration of these mobile electrons, they conduct electricity. Examples: all metals and non-metals like graphite and alloys are some of the examples. Coming to ionic or electrolytic conductors, so they conduct electricity by the migration of ions. So electronic conductors conduct electricity by the migration of electrons. Electrolytic conductors or ionic conductors conduct electricity by the migration of ions. That means they contain mobile ions or moving ions. Example: fused or molten or aqueous solution of. Fused or molten or aqueous solution of acids, bases and salts. Or electrolytic conductors or ionic conductors, because these substances in the fused state or in molten state contain mobile electrons, therefore they conduct electricity in the fused state or in aqueous solution. Now let us study the differences between electronic conductors and electrolytic conductors. Differences between electronic conductors and electrolytic conductors. Electronic conductors, and they are electrolytic conductors. Electronic conductors are also called as metallic conductors. Electrolytic conductors are also called as ionic conductors. So what is the first difference? First one, they conduct electricity by the migration of electrons. Say for example, copper is an electronic conductor. So here electricity moves from one place to another place by the movement of electrons. So this is the first difference. They conduct electricity by the migration of electrons. So here they conduct electricity by the migration of ions, by the migration of ions. For example, sodium chloride is an electrolytic conductor. When dissolved in water, you will get sodium chloride solution. So this sodium chloride solution conduct electricity by the movement of sodium ions and chloride ions towards oppositely charged electrode. So this is the first difference. Electronic conductors conduct electricity by the migration of mobile electrons. Electrolytic conductors conduct electricity by the migration of ions. So Na plus and sodium minus, Na plus and Cl minus ions. What is the second difference? So electronic, here this does not involve the transfer of material. So during electronic conduction, there is no transfer of material from one place to another place. Here copper ions are, for example, if it is a copper wire, copper atoms or copper ions does not move from one place to another place, whereas only the migration of ions takes place. That means this does not involve the transfer of material. So here it involves the transfer of material or substance. Here sodium ions will move towards cathode and chloride ions move towards anode. Here there is movement or transfer of material from one place to another place. So here there is no transfer of material from one place to another place. This is the second difference. Third difference, it does not causes the decomposition of the substance. So during the passage of electricity, this substance does not undergo any decomposition. That means it does not undergo any chemical change. It only only physical change. So here during the passage of electricity, there occurs decomposition of ions. Sodium chloride atom molecule decomposes to give sodium ions and chloride ions. So this is known as decomposition and it is a chemical process. So during electrolytic conduction, so it causes the decomposition of the substance. That means it undergo both physical and chemical change. So the electrolytic conductor undergo both decomposition as well as it undergo both physical and as well as chemical change. So fourth difference is effect of temperature. So what happens to the conductivity when the temperature is increased for conductors, namely electronic conductors? For example, this is a copper wire. If temperature is increased, the conductivity decreases. Conductivity of electronic conductors decreases. So increase of temperature decreases electronic conductivity. So conductivity is inversely proportional to temperature. In case of metallic conductors or electronic conductors, increase of temperature decreases conductivity. This is because when the temperature is increased, the kernels or the positive ion starts vibrating, which hinders the movement of electrons. Therefore conductivity, electronic conductivity decreases. So here effect of temperature, increase of temperature increases ionic conductivity. That is, conductivity is directly proportional to temperature. This is because when the temperature is increased, the decomposition of ions increases, the number of ions increases, and hence conductivity increases. So this is the differences between electronic conductors and electrolytic conductors, and this is important. So 4 differences are there. Here conductivity takes place by the migration of electrons, by the migration of ions. Does not involve transfer of material, involves transfer of material. Does not causes the decomposition of the substance. So the substance does not undergo any chemical change. Here the substance undergo chemical change. So increase of temperature decreases electronic conductivity. Here increase of temperature increases ionic conductivity or electrolytic conductivity. Now let us study what are the factors which influence ionic or electrolytic conductivity. Factors which influence ionic or electrolytic conductivity. Say for example, sodium chloride is an electrolytic conductor. When sodium chloride conduct electricity when it is dissolved in water or when it is melted, because in the solid state the ions are held by strong electrostatic force of attraction and hence they do not conduct electricity. When they are melted or dissolved in aqueous solution, these ions becomes free and hence they conduct electricity. For example, sodium chloride, it is an electrolytic conductor or ionic conductor. When dissolved in water, water is a solvent. So this solution is known as sodium chloride solution. The conductivity of this sodium chloride solution depends on what factors? Number 1, nature of the electrolyte and concentration of the ions. So the conductivity of this solution depends upon the nature of this electrolyte and the concentration of the ions. That means if the number of ions are more, conductivity is also more. If the number of ions are less, conductivity is also less. So the factors which influence ionic or electrolytic conductivity are: number 1, nature of the electrolyte and concentration of the electrolyte. Nature of the electrolyte and concentration of the electrolyte. So what is the meaning of nature of electrolyte? So the conductivity depends upon the nature. Here you will going to learn later whether it is a strong electrolyte or weak electrolyte. If it is a strong electrolyte, it undergo complete ionization. You will get more number of ions and conductivity is more. If it is a weak electrolyte, dissociation is less, number of ions is less and conductivity is less. So, first factor which influences conductivity are nature of the electrolyte and concentration of the electrolyte. Number 2, nature of the solvent. Nature of the solvent and its viscosity. Nature of the solvent and its viscosity. So, the dissociation or solubility of the electrolyte depends upon the nature of the solvent. For example, sodium chloride is highly soluble in water, but sodium chloride is less soluble in benzene. So, if it is highly soluble, you will get more number of ions. So, that's why the conductivity depends upon the nature of the solvent and also viscosity. If the viscosity is more, the liquid becomes thick, therefore the movement of ions decreases and conductivity also decreases. So, this is the second factor which influences conductivity, nature of the solvent and its viscosity. Third factor, size of the ions and its solvation. Size of the ions and its solvation. That means if the size of the ions are more, movement of the ions is less. The conductivity of this solution depends upon the number of the ions and also the velocity of the ions. If the number of ions are more and velocity is more, conductivity is also more. So, here if the size is large, the velocity is less or movement is less, conductivity is less. So, this is the third factor, size of the ions and also solvation. What is the meaning of solvation? So, solvation means, for example, around sodium ions, water molecules are surrounded. This is known as solvation. Chloride ions, around chloride ions, water molecules are surrounded. So, how much the water molecules are surrounded around each ion, that is known as solvation. And the last factor which influences conductivity is temperature. So, what is the effect of temperature? Increase of temperature increases electrolytic conduction. Increase of temperature increases the dissociation of the electrolyte and the number of ions increases and hence conductivity also increases. So, this is also important. What are the factors which influences ionic or electrolytic conductivity? So, these are the 4 factors: nature of the electrolyte and concentration of the electrolyte. If the concentration is more, conductivity is also more. If conductivity is less, if concentration is less, conductivity is also less. Nature of the electrolyte, nature of the solvent, size of the ions and its solvation, and fourth factor is temperature. Increase of temperature increases electrolytic conductivity. Now let us study what are electrolytes and non-electrolytes. Electrolytes and non-electrolytes. So, in conductors there are 2 types. One is electronic conductors and electrolytic conductors, or metallic conductors or ionic conductors. In ionic conductors there are 2 types, electrolytes and non-electrolytes. What are electrolytes? Chemical substances or chemical compounds which conduct electricity, chemical compounds which conduct electricity either in the fused or molten state or in aqueous solution. Chemical compounds which conduct electricity either in the fused state or in aqueous solution are called electrolytes. Example, so acids, bases, salts, in molten or aqueous solution state are called electrolytes. Say for example, when sodium chloride is dissolved in water, you will get solution of sodium chloride. So this solution of sodium chloride conduct electricity, hence sodium chloride is an electrolyte. And what are non-electrolytes? So these electrolytes contain mobile ions. These electrolytes contain mobile ions in molten or in aqueous solution state. So that's why they conduct electricity in the molten state or in solution state. They do not conduct electricity in the solid state. You may ask the question, why sodium chloride is a bad conductor of electricity? Why solid sodium chloride is a bad conductor of electricity? Because in solid state, sodium ions and chloride ions are held by strong electrostatic force of attraction, and ions are not free, and hence they are bad conductors. Then what are non-electrolytes? What are non-electrolytes? Chemical substances which do not conduct electricity, whatever it may be the state, whether it is a solid state or in solution state or in molten state, if they do not conduct electricity, they are called non-electrolytes. Example, sugar, urea, benzene, etc. are non-electrolytes because they do not conduct electricity. Why they do not conduct electricity? Because they do not have mobile ions. Hence they are bad conductor of non-electrolytes. So what are electrolytes? Chemical compounds which conduct electricity either in the fused state or in aqueous solution are called electrolytes. Chemical compounds which do not conduct electricity are called non-electrolytes. Electrolytes contains mobile ions. Non-electrolytes does not contain mobile ions or ions. Hence they are bad conductor of electricity. So next let us study the types of electrolytes. In electrolytes there are two types. Number one, strong electrolytes, and number two, weak electrolytes. Strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. What are strong electrolytes? Electrolytes which undergo complete ionization in solution. Electrolytes which undergo complete ionization in solution are called strong electrolytes. For example, when sodium chloride is dissolved in water, it undergo complete ionization to give Na plus plus Cl minus. So, if there are 100 molecules of sodium chloride, all the 100 molecules dissociate to give sodium ions and chloride ions. You will get 100 sodium ions and 100 chloride ions. Such electrolytes are called strong electrolytes. Example, NaCl, KCl, CuSO4, etc. are strong electrolytes. Coming to weak electrolytes, so here acids like HCl, HNO3, H2SO4 and bases like NaOH, KOH, etc. all are strong electrolytes. These are bases, these are acids, these are salts. Coming to weak electrolytes, what are weak electrolytes? Electrolytes which does not undergo complete ionization. Electrolytes which does not undergo complete ionization in solution are called weak electrolytes. Example, when acetic acid CH3COOH is dissolved in water, so they undergo incomplete ionization CH3COO minus plus H plus. So here out of 100 molecules, say for example 40 you will get 40 molecules of acetate ions and 40 ions of hydrogen ions. Therefore, the dissociation is less. For weak electrolytes, we will write in this form. So, if they undergo complete ionization, we will write single arrows. If they undergo incomplete ionization, we will write arrow in opposite direction. That means there exists an equilibrium between ions and undissociated molecules. Example, CH3COOH, acetic acid, ammonium hydroxide, hydrogen bromide, etc. are weak electrolytes.